Good evening. This is Eswatini TV News at 8, read to you by myself, Natile Sitole, alongside Namakabiso Ngambule. First up, let's have a look at our top stories. Prime Minister Cleopas Dlamini is back home from Zambia, where he had gone to represent His Majesty King Mswati III in the inauguration of Zambia's new president, Hakainde Hichilema. The Prime Minister Cleopas Dlamini says government is working hard in ensuring the formulation of policy reforms that will make research a priority. Sikhumbuzo C. Potabetse is the new Eswatini Energy Regulatory Authority's Chief Executive Officer. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Cleopas Dlamini is back home from Zambia, where he had gone to represent His Majesty King Mswati III in the inauguration of Zambia's new president, Hakainde Hichilema. The Prime Minister landed through the King Mswati III International Airport.
Prime Minister Cleopas Dlamini is back in the country following his visit to Zambia, where he had gone to represent His Majesty King Mswati III during the inauguration of the President of Zambia, Hakainde Hichilema. Welcoming the Prime Minister were cabinet ministers. Reporting about his journey, the Prime Minister says the event went very well and was well attended by the people of Zambia as well as African countries' head of states.
He is the 7th president of Zambia. He was elected with Her Excellency Mrs. Mutale Nolumango as vice president, and she is the second vice president from that country. There was also an outgoing vice president. This was a very well-attended event. It was a very big event. There were 9 heads of state. In his inaugural address, the president of Zambia spoke very strongly about the need for reinvigorating the economy, creating employment, and reducing budget deficit. He also emphasized the need for regional and domestic and regional economic investment. We also had the opportunity to hold bilateral meetings between the two countries, which is Eswatini and Zambia. Basically, the purpose of the meeting was for us to pass the special message of congratulations from His Majesty, who had specifically sent us there for that purpose. We found that the new president is very well versed with Swaziland. He knows the country. He even speaks the language. So he also gave us a message for His Majesty the King, which we will pass over to him.
The Prime Minister says he got the opportunity to indicate the desire of the government of Eswatini to deepen relations with the government of Zambia and also strengthen relations between the two countries and other formal discussions. For Eswatini TV News, I am Kian MCB at the King Mswati III International Airport.
The Prime Minister Cleopas Dlamini says government is working hard in ensuring the formulation of policy reforms that will make research a priority. The Prime Minister was represented by the Minister for Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, during the 5th National Health Research Conference held in Eswatini.
The 5th National Health Conference brought together health researchers, policymakers, academia, among other participants. The theme for this year is looking to ensure that challenges such as the COVID-19 pandemic solutions are evidence-based. Speaking during the conference, the Prime Minister's representative, the Minister for Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, says the research is government's main priority as stated in the government strategic roadmap.
His Majesty's government has prioritized research as mentioned in the post-COVID-19 Economic Recovery Plan and the National Development Plan. The world is constantly evolving, hence the need to provide information about global trends, and most importantly, local factors is imperative. This allows for interventions, approaches, and strategies that are responsive to our challenges.
The U.S. ambassador to Eswatini, Jan Madloni, says the United States government has invested $5 billion in Malangeni towards the country's health sector.
A nation's citizens are its most treasured resource, and our work together over the years has saved thousands of lives in this country and improved the quality of life for countless more.
Mabuza says the COVID-19 pandemic has exposed vulnerabilities of the health sector, hence the importance of research. For Eswatini TV News on Domlangeni with Samgal Suekoza in Ezulwini.
The Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, has tasked farmers to improve maize, beans and sorghum production to reduce imports. The Minister was speaking during the official opening of the Eswatini National Agricultural Union's 2021 Annual Policy Conference held at the Happy Valley Hotel.
The Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, speaking during the official opening of the Eswatini National Agricultural Union's 2021 Annual Policy Conference, gave farmers a task to improve the production of maize, beans and sorghum. He says the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini allocated a budget of 42 million in Malangeni in the 2021-2022 financial year towards subsidizing the cost of farming inputs for maize, beans and sorghum for smallholder farmers.
We have noted that this investment has increased productivity, thereby assisting smallholder farmers to have adequate food to eat. However, the country continues to import high volumes of maize, beans, and sorghum. And this makes us realize the need to stimulate local commercial production that will compete with imports and increase the sector's contribution to the economy.
European Union's representative Robert Adams says through their involvement in the agriculture sector, they've supported smallholder farmer enterprise development.
The European Union has always had the opinion that Eswatini is endowed with adequate land and water resources to produce for both local consumption and export to global markets.
Speaking on behalf of SNOW, President Adam Matsebula said, for smallholder farmer development, the government needs to introduce agriculture loans and pass the Eswatini Land Commercialization Bill. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Samgal Suekoza with Fumiko Sinsinisa at Zulwini.
The Minister of Commerce, Industry and Trade, Mangoba Khumalo, has applauded the Eswatini Standards Authority for embracing virtual platforms as part of its daily operations. The Minister was represented by the Director of SMEs in the Ministry of Commerce, Mluleki Dlamini, during the launch of the SWASA e-learning platforms.
The Eswatini Standards Authority launched the SWASA web-based portals for technical committees, also known as e-learning platform, aimed at utilizing virtual platforms in the time of COVID-19 while ensuring the adherence to global standards. The Minister of Commerce, Mangoba Khumalo, who was represented by the Director of SMEs in the ministry, Mluleki Dlamini, applauded this initiative.
The COVID-19 pandemic has brought about a new normal. Being able to host physical meetings has meant that we utilize technology to ensure business continuity. As a government, we take this opportunity to thank the European Union, who could not be here with us today due to other pressing business issues, for the kind gesture they had extended to SWASA in funding the development of the virtual platform. The Eswatini Standards Authority Technical Cooperation is an online-based service that will help technical committees to share and manage technical electronic content, such as documents, in order to seamlessly collaborate when developing various standards.
The SWASA Council Chairperson Edward Mswane says they aim at improving standards locally.
We believe that the launch of the virtual platforms will enable all standards stakeholders in Eswatini to be able to participate effectively in the development of standards and also access training through the SWASA virtual platforms. Honorable Minister, the process of development of standards is time-consuming and involves the convening of technical committees, which are TCs. The TC meetings bring together stakeholders from government, consumers, industry, and many others to deliberate on the standards.
Standards play an important role on businesses and marketing, as well as ensuring that all products meet expected standards locally and globally. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Kian MCB at the George in Manzini.
The Minister for Education, Lady Howard, along with the House of Assembly Education Portfolio Committee, as well as the Senate Education Portfolio Committee, has embarked on a ministerial tour visiting 9 schools that were burnt during the unrest that occurred a few months ago in the country. The minister says the tour is for inspecting the extent of the damages, as well as having a dialogue with the teachers from the affected schools.
On her 9-school visit, Minister Lady Howard shared words with the teachers of Ngwane Central Primary School, urging them that they have a duty to maintain public order and safety by preventing, detecting and investigating criminal activities like arson. The minister further emphasized the significance of mentoring young people in schools and communities, highlighting how gullible they can be to wrong advice from other people with criminal agendas.
So let us be careful what we do as adults in front of our children, because they will copy what we are doing and they'll turn against us. It's very important that the school leaders have a very good relationship with community leaders, so that whenever they encounter problems, they are able to get help.
House of Senate Education Portfolio Committee Chairperson Busi Dlamini handed over documents to the school's head teacher, which include the National Constitution, the National Youth Policy, and the Youth Enterprise Revolving Fund, which she asked that she shares them with all pupils in her school.
Izingane emandleni ngase ngiphathela iyouth yalatikola tonke ukuthi dingahlali dicabange lokubi kuphela nalokuhle kukhona la eveni bothisha letincwazi ababafotokhephele ahlale ekhaya atifunze.
Ngwane Central Primary Head Teacher Tapsile Myeni expressed her appreciation for having the Ministry of Education visit her school.
We didn't expect such as a primary school, but when she came to our school, we were so much happy, because we knew that as she has come, our problems are solved.
Schools that the minister and the 2 portfolio committees visited include Mahamba High School, Ebenezer High School, and Velebandvu High School, to name but a few. For Eswatini TV News, Sifiso Ngumalo with Smova Shongwe, Ngwane Central Primary School.
The Eswatini Energy Regulatory Authority has unveiled Sikhumbuzo Siphotabetse as the company's new Chief Executive Officer. The new CEO was officially unveiled by Esera's Board of Directors Chairperson Lungile Dlamini at Sibane Hotel.
Following the retirement of the former Energy Regulatory Authority's Chief Executive Officer Vusmuzi Mkhumane, the company has officially announced Sikhumbuzo Siphotabetse as the new CEO. Speaking during his official unveiling, Tabetse said, having had the rare opportunity of working for both high energy users and the national utility in the past will help immensely in delivering his duties.
By this, I am humbled by the support of the board and look forward to the delivery which is expected of us as a team in Esera to implement the indispensable role of balancing the multiple objectives of stakeholders in order to optimize the least cost service delivery and ensuring high quality and reliability of the supply of service in the energy industry space. It's paramount that one always remembers that energy costs are a precursor of inflation, and therefore it is important that we all manage their costs in order to drive our already fragile economy.
Speaking during the unveiling of the new CEO, Esera's board chairperson Lungile Dlamini said, Tabetse comes at a time when the company is in the process of developing its 3-year strategic plan.
Hence, this provides him with an excellent opportunity to influence the strategic direction of the authority and the energy industry in general. He also comes at a time when the regulator is transforming from being an electricity-only regulator to also taking over the regulation of downstream petroleum activities, following the promulgation of the Petroleum Act of 2020.
Tsabetse worked for the Eswatini Water Services Corporation as Director Strategic Services and also spent 13 years in various senior management positions at the Eswatini Electricity Company. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Sam Galswe-Koza with Fumiko Sinsilisa at Sulwini.
The Eswatini Tourism Authority has held a media seminar aimed at strengthening relations and sharing ideas on how best the tourism industry can strive during the time of COVID-19. The event was held at the Royal Villas in Eswatini.
The Eswatini Tourism Authority held a media seminar aimed at focusing on new operation plans and strategies going forward amidst COVID-19 and tackling threats to the tourism sector that had been posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. The CEO of the Eswatini Tourism Authority, Linda Nxumalo, says they view the media as an important stakeholder in their working plans.
Safety remains a huge priority, and through the help of the media, we were able to echo this message for collective urgency and understanding. As a result of strict adherence to safety standards across tourism establishments, the tourism sites and the Kingdom of Eswatini, the Safer Travel stamp from the World Travel and Tourism Council.
The chairperson of the Hotels and Tourism Association of Eswatini, Mark Ward, says now that the nation is in the process of getting vaccinated, it would be easy to travel locally, thus promoting domestic tourism.
Eswatini is really steaming along with the vaccination program. What I heard the other day is 120,000, 130,000 people have been vaccinated. We're really going along really well, and hopefully we're going to be the first country in Africa vaccinated.
The chairperson of the Eswatini Tourism Marketing Committee, Christine Love, says they view the media as an important stakeholder, thus they value their input.
Without you, as media houses, there will be nobody will know what we do Eswatini. Therefore, you play a critical role in our business spaces. We are playing a critical role in the tourism sector of Eswatini. You are our ambassadors and representatives, not only locally, but to the whole world.
The seminar will help improve relations and ways to improve domestic tourism. For Eswatini TV News, I am Kian MCB at the Royal Villas, Ezulwini.
The Director for Social Security in the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, Makobane Mdluli, says the validation process of the report of the establishment of the unemployment benefit schemes in Eswatini will assist in ensuring that people who were laid off due to the COVID-19 pandemic are assisted. Mdluli has said this during a validation meeting held in Ezulwini.
In a bid to ensure that employment benefit schemes benefit the nation, the Ministry of Labour, in collaboration with the International Labour Organization and the Labour Advisory Board, had a validation meeting for the final actuarial report establishing an employment benefit scheme. The Director for Social Security, Makobane Mdluli, says the meeting also provides progress update on ongoing studies towards comprehensive social protection in Eswatini.
Sigayidwa ngo-Convention 102 waka-ILO. Kuna-9 nje ma-social security benefits lafuna bekhona. Kunabo old age, bo-maternity, bo-sickness, bo-survivors, bo-employment injury, and so on and so on. What happened was litiko belisolo lisebenta iqalela kha national social security policy nje isayathi uthi policy iye ithi kunenkinga lekhona la li-identify lisho ukuthi yini lingasolveka kanjani le policy lekhona.
The meeting is expected to take 2 days, and some of the things that were discussed include draft legal and startups and implementation framework for UBS. For Eswatini TV News, Ndomlangeni in Ezulwini.
The Eswatini National Youth Council is in a process of rehabilitating youth centers to be used by the youth for skills development. According to the council's head of programs, Tumsansi Melane, they also aim at providing vocational graduates with relevant tools after graduation.
The Eswatini National Youth Council is in a process of rehabilitating youth centers to be utilized for skills development for the youth. Youth centers have been lying idly in the country. Now they will be turned into development vocational skills. The Eswatini National Youth Council's head of programs, Dumisani Smelane, says they want to provide them with relevant tools after graduation and reduce the high unemployment rate in the country.
We want to introduce a technical and vocational program within the different youth centers in Eswatini. You will recall that we have 16 youth centers in Eswatini, and currently they are white elephants because there are no programs that are happening there due to lack of resources. So we have since mobilized resources through a very strong program that we pitched with the World Bank. Our talks are at an advanced stage. We envisage a time where we will run a technical and vocational skills program where the different skills will be provided in these youth centers, such as wiring and electrical, such as plumbing, such as dressmaking and designing, such as welding, and the different skills that exist with some of the institutions that we have in Eswatini, such as the MITC, NASTIC, and the different types of skills development agencies. So what's going to happen, Gian, is that upon graduation, this program will run between 6 and 12 months. Now, upon graduation, these young people will also be given an opportunity to access startup kits that we will procure for them. So if you are a welder, you will get an opportunity where you will walk away with a welding machine and your welding rods and your protective clothing. The same thing will happen with dressmakers and designers.
The youth that had been incented for entrepreneurship is now back in the country and hopes that they will be of assistance to their peers. For Eswatini TV News, I am Kian MCB Mbabane.
Let's have an ad break and the news will be back shortly.
It's bigger, it's better. OK owners bring you another big deal weekend. With massive savings on Bocomo Weet-Bix, now a low $37.99. Brooks Oros just $26.99. Ligugu Maize Meal for only $71.99. And Pringles for just $16.99. Get to your OK for more big deals. This weekend only. OK, owners you can count on.
You've been supporting us since we opened our doors, so we're here for you. 1,000 SPAR customers will win their shopping for free, instantly, with SPAR Rewards. Come in and get 900-gram Bocomo Weet-Bix for only $36.99 and 2-liter liquid fruit for just $29.99. We're here for you.
My name is Eswatini.
It's your boy DJ Sunday, aka DEZ. Catch me and the gang on a brand new show.
Amazing show. I'm so excited about first episode.
Hot new show for Studio One.
As you guys know, we do cover all things music and entertainment. We're going to be doing the news aspect specifically. Our news is divided into two segments, into international news and then local news.
I'm going to be on the cozy couch, hosting all the guests that we have on the show. Thanks for joining me on the cozy couch. Your performance, how did you feel about that? I love you.
Honestly, I was ecstatic, man. I'll be dealing with the hottest videos for the week. At number 1, we have Tenderness featuring Willem Seni for Love Me. We have the same station is now over with the both of the universe.
Number 1 DJ in Africa.
See you every Saturday at 6 p.m.
on Eswatini TV.
Studio One.
Studio One.
Studio One.
Welcome back. Let's have a look at our financial markets.
be.
Good evening once again. You are still watching Eswatini TV. Let's have a look at our sports news. Eswatini Golf Union Development Coach Mishak Zwane says preparations for the youth golfers ahead of the Region 5 games in December this year are going accordingly. Zwane says it is in his hope that by the time the games begin, the team will be ready to represent the country. Zwane was speaking to Eswatini TV Sports in Babane.
Lesotho is expected to host this year's Region 5 Youth Games in December this year. Golf is another sport to take part of the games. Meshek Zwane, who is the youth development coach under the Eswatini Golf Union, says preparations are so far going accordingly as players are already displaying a good form in their readiness for the games.
This thing about COVID. Sometimes we have a problem with they can't come in big numbers because we've got to avoid the groups. But still, we are able to start train individual. Like now, this morning I've had a few Bomongi, where to Nabo Malidami in the morning. So we are training, but cuts, we can't group them, so we've got to do them individually because we are avoiding yes, because of COVID. But we're having also challenges with the girls because when you train them, once by figure 14, most of the time, there's a lot that is involved. They change, they want to do something else.
Some of the golfers likely to feature in the games are Spesihle Mhlanga and Mongiwetu Masugu. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Musonera, Mbabane.
Manzini Wanderers ladies have lost their first COSAFA Women's Champions League qualifiers game against Double Action Ladies team from Botswana. Wanderers lost 3-0 in a game that was played at Eswatini Stadium in the Republic of South Africa.
Manzini Wanderers ladies team were the official openers of the COSAFA Women's Champions League qualifiers against Double Action from Botswana at the Eswatini Stadium in the Republic of South Africa. Both teams are in Group A alongside Mamelodi Sundowns ladies team and Lesotho Defence Force ladies team. Double Action were quick to make their presence felt in the first half of the game when netting their opener, which was the only goal scored in the first half. In the second half, Double Action continued to show strength as Lowane Moloi netted the second for her team. In the last 15 minutes of the game, Double Action got their third and the final of the game. Manzini Wanderers head coach Smepi Mamba says she is still disappointed with the team's performance.
We conceded an early goal, so that's why they were not coming back again. But the game, it wasn't bad for us, so maybe our league, I actually see the league is melee, so that's why most of the things not connected to
Double Action coach Upakoa says he is proud of his team's performance.
Getting 3 points is also a motivating factor that I've preached that, these mini leagues, the most important thing is the first result. It makes or breaks everything. I think the 3 points I'm happy with, definitely.
Manzini Wanderers ladies team next encounter will be against Lesotho Defence Force this coming Saturday. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Musonera, pictures sourced from COSAFA TV.
That's all for now. Before we conclude, let's have a look at our top stories. Prime Minister Cleopas Dlamini is back home from Zambia, where he had gone to represent His Majesty King Mswati III in the inauguration of Zambia's new president, Hakainde Hichilema. The Prime Minister Cleopas Dlamini says government is working hard in ensuring the formulation of policy reforms that will make research a priority. Sikumbuzo C. Potabetse is the new Eswatini Energy Regulatory Authority's Chief Executive Officer. And with that, we sum up our bulletin for the evening. Up next is the weather update from myself and the team at Eswatini TV. Thanks for tuning in. Good night.